Yo, what's going on, everybody? Mark the Franchise here, aka Dad Bod the Rapper. I'm coming to you live and direct from the in-house Convo podcast studio, which is really just my driveway. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I wanted to start a new segment. I've always loved fighting. I've always loved MMA. I've always loved boxing. And over the years, I've watched more and more shows, more and more events, gone to live events, and I can't get enough. So I decided let's have an unprofessional, probably a very biased because I like certain fighters, combos and talks about upcoming fights. Like I said, this is coming to you from my driveway, so you're going to be hearing the wind going, you're going to be hearing cars going by and things like that. But anyways, this segment is called Combat Chit Chat with Mark the Franchise. All right, so let's dive right in. Don't mind that sound. That's just the trash man going by. Because, of course, as soon as I start recording and coming out, the trash is going to come by. As soon as I come out, the wind's going to blow. I'm pretty sure dogs going to come by and start barking. So, that's how it goes. But I took some notes down about some boxing matches that are coming up and some MMA events that are going to be coming up that I want to talk about. Like I said, I don't have any fight experience. I'm not an expert. I'm pretty biased probably on certain fighters just because I follow them a lot and respect them a lot. So I just want to talk about the fights, give my takes, give my thoughts. Please engage and hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you agree, disagree, if there's a fight that I'm not talking about that you want to talk about, potential matchups, whatever it is, combat, let's chit-chat about it. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing I have, I'm sure you guys just heard and seen all the news break about Jake Paul and Mike Perry. For me, I'm excited to see that. I respect what Jake Paul's doing. I like what he's doing. His fights are always exciting to me. Even if he's fighting like the tune-up guys or like the ones that call the cab drivers, cab drivers and tomato cans, I still find it entertaining. I still find it exciting to watch. I like what he's doing, that he's trying to be an advocate for fighter pay and a fighters union. I think that's cool. I like that he keeps mentioning that he's doing it for the future generation, for the kids, to let them know if you have a dream, chase it, don't give up, go for it. So that sticks out to me, and I really like what he's doing. And as far as he takes it, as much money as he gets, I'm going to keep watching it. Every fight he's had, I've watched, so more power to him. But Mike Perry, I think Mike Perry is a fucking problem. I think Mike Perry is a dog. I think Mike Perry is going to give him more problems than any fighter he's had, including his loss to Tommy Fury. I think Mike Perry's style is going to possibly confuse Jake Paul. Not that he hasn't had certain looks or isn't probably training a certain style or certain way to have that in-your-face type of style that Mike Tyson would be bringing if him and Mike were still fighting on July 20th. But I think Mike Perry is going to be in his face. He's going to try to bully him, even being a smaller man. And I don't think Mike Perry is going to stop punching. I think it's going to be a closer fight than people expect. For the entertainment aspect, I want to see Jake Paul win so it can be another profile fight against somebody else. I want to see Jake Paul keep bringing attention to boxing and making it more exciting and bringing more eyes and attention and other possible potential future matchups. But my thoughts when I step back and look at it is Mike Perry's gonna beat him. I think Mike Perry's gonna bully him. I think Mike Perry's gonna get in too close to where Jake Paul isn't comfortable and possibly make a mistake. And I think I think Mike Perry isn't afraid of power shots. I don't think Mike Perry is afraid to walk through one, to land one. So I think it's going to confuse Jake Paul. I think it's going to have him use his game B strategy or his plan B strategy or his plan C if he has one that far. But if he just tries to stand there, throw the 1-2, a counter hooker, just something basic that Mike Perry has already seen and is already used to. I think it's going to be a long night for Jake Paul. I don't think it's going to go the distance either way. I think somebody's going to get knocked out. If I had a bet, I would say it's going to be Mike Perry. I just hope it doesn't. I just hope it doesn't affect the possible Mike Tyson fight. Even though Mike Tyson is 57, 58 now, I grew up idolizing him. I grew up thinking he was the greatest boxer of all time. His power, his ferocity, his ruthlessness, his attitude, his demeanor, all of that. I was fascinated. I still watch his highlights to this day. I would love to see him box one more time, and not this exhibition where it's him and Roy Jones supposedly had that gentleman's agreement, and they were kind of going light when it was to the head. I want to see him engage and throw those hands just to see, if it's the Mike Tyson of old. It's that aspect that makes you want to see it, because you don't know what Mike Tyson we're going to get. So hopefully that does come into play. Hopefully whatever him and Mike Perry go through, Jake Paul, Mike Perry, whatever they go through, hopefully it doesn't affect this Mike Tyson possible, I think it was November 15th date. So cross our fingers on that. Let's hope that we can make it through these next two boxing matches and stay entertained going into the end of the year. I think that'll be very exciting for boxing. Speaking of boxing, you got the face of boxing still, which is Canelo Alvarez. Not to say that Terrence Crawford isn't there, not to say that Tank Davis isn't there, not to say that Usyk isn't there, but you think boxing, you think Canelo Alvarez. At least I do. Now, who does he fight next? I believe it was on Boxing News 24. They said he was going to possibly start having talks or conversations. I believe it was for Edgar Berlanga. Edgar or Edward Berlanga. I've seen that Berlanga kid fight before. I think he's way too green for Canelo. Not that he's not formidable. Not that he's not talented. Not that he's not a great athlete himself. This is just me looking at the fights he's had, observing maybe the level he's at, and comparing him to Canelo or other fighters Canelo has fought. And I don't see that going the distance. I don't see that going Berlanga's way. I think in my head, Canelo's doing it to bring some more light and attention to these younger guys who have the potential to be mega stars. So Canelo's going to try, possibly put some money in their pocket, put them on a bigger stage, I think Berlanga's Puerto Rican, so Mexican-Puerto Rican fight, you know how those go. I personally believe Canelo will fight David Benavidez. I don't think that's going to be next, but I personally believe he will fight him. Yes, I agree with the masses that Benavidez is probably going to hurt Canelo. I think it'll be Canelo's toughest test. I think it's going to have most likely the same outcome as the Bivol fight, but I still want to see it. I would still like to see it. I'm still curious to watch it and see how it goes down, when it goes down, how it goes down, if it goes down. If not, Benavidez is a future legend, future Hall of Famer already. He doesn't need the Canelo fight. He's already solidified. He's already a world champion multiple times over. So if he doesn't get it, that it'll be a hit to boxing. It'll be a shame that it never happened, but Benavidez doesn't need it. I don't think Benavidez needs it. I think Benavidez is fine doing what he's doing. And I believe he just said it in his last in-ring interview, or maybe the post-fight or something, where he even said he doesn't need Canelo. He's going to create his own legacy. He's going to do whatever he has to do. Like I said, we are outside. He's going to do whatever he has to do to keep solidifying his name and being who he needs to be. which I think is smart. I think a lot of these fighters are wasting time and their potential, and even a bit of their career waiting for Canelo, hoping they get the Canelo phone call. I think they should take a book out of Canelo's page and just fight, and get these belts, collect these belts. Put yourself in the position where you make the shot calls or make the calls. You're the shot caller. Because Canelo, started at 147 his career, went as high as 75. He's fought at 55, 60, 65, 68. He's jumping these ranks. He's making these leaps and bounds. And I wish these other boxers, instead of trying to get that Canelo fight, would just do the same thing. Be great, dominate your weight class, and then jump up and do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again. A lot of people are too scared to do that. A lot of people are too afraid to test themselves. A lot of these boxers, they try to protect their undefeated records. But I think it's a detriment to boxing and to their own career when they're sitting around waiting to get a lottery ticket phone call. Just fucking fight. Just fight. Throw those hands. Get those belts. And then you do what Canelo's doing. He's laying the blueprint out for you guys right now. Just fight. Be great. And then you just start doing these great things. And, everything else will fall in place. But like I said, I think Canelo's the face of boxing. And that's not, like I said, not to take anything away from Terrence Crawford or Tank Davis. I think Tank is a motherfucking beast. I think he is a problem. I don't see anybody beating him. I don't see him getting into any serious problems or trouble. How these contract negotiations work out, the weight clauses, the whatever it is, if he's getting it done and he's getting the fights, then that's on the opponent. That's not on Tank. Now, people can say what they want about Tank or whatever, but these other fighters sign on the dotted line to make it to the fight. So that's on them. I think Tank Davis is amazing. I think the day Canelo ever retires or quits, you got Tank Davis, Benavidez, Crawford, these guys just waiting in the midst to be the next faces of boxing. But I wanted, big fan of Tank Davis. Last weekend he just won by knockout against Frank Martin, and I don't think Tank Davis looked worried or hurt. Definitely, it just looked like he made up his mind. I'm gonna walk through any of these punches. I'm gonna push you back, and I'm just gonna swing and knock you the fuck out. He has the technique, he has the speed, he has the power. And I just don't think he respected Frank Martin's power. I just felt like he just stood there, kept moving forward, ate a punch, timed it perfect, and then just, he did what Tank Davis does. Now, with that being said, the only person that makes me think, maybe this will be a problem, maybe this will be a real test, is Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is a bad motherfucker. Can throw hands. He's fast. So composed. Great footwork. I think if Tank in his weight class is 1A, Shakur is 1B. I rank them almost the same. I think Shakur is trying to get the smoke with anybody and everybody. He's going to be a future legend, Hall of Fame great himself. He's fighting July 6th. I think he's in New Jersey. I'm sure Tank Davis is going to be watching. Everybody else in those weight classes are to have their eyes on Shakur. But I think Tank Davis is 1A and Shakur Stevenson is 1B. If they fight in the near future, that's going to be a huge mega fight. That in my head, I'm just hoping it happens. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but I'm hoping it happens. What do we got going on next? We got Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. Nate Diaz, Jorge Masvidal fighting right here in my neck in the woods at Anaheim, California, July 6th. I believe it's what was that, like 2 weeks away now? A little over 2.5 weeks away. For that one, all right, that one I'm up in the air about. I don't remember their fight in the UFC too much. I just remember that Nate Diaz lost. I remember him eating a kick. And then at moments, I remember Nate Diaz had some moments with his hands. Now, my brain tells me George Masvidal, before he got into the UFC, was a backyard street brawler. So he was always throwing hands. In the UFC, I remember him throwing hands. I don't see Nate Diaz beating Masvidal. I want Nate Diaz to win. You know, West Coast rides for West Coast all day, every day. I have a hard time seeing if Nate Diaz didn't take down Jake Paul, didn't beat Jake Paul, outpoint him, outbox him. I don't think he can do the same with Masvidal. Excuse me. I think Masvidal is very, very skilled with his hands. I think he's a technician, Mr. Three-piece and a soda. I have a hard time seeing, just off of Nate Diaz's last performance, how he threw hands. I just have a hard time seeing him putting some real work against Masvidal to where Masvidal gets outpointed or knocked down or hurt. I want to ride for Nate Diaz. I want to ride for the West Coast homeboy. It's hard, you know. I just think Masvidal is still too skilled. I think Masvidal is still able to compete with some really top and elite guys. I feel like Nate Diaz, his time hasn't went, but it's getting further and further to where he needs to fight more veteran guys versus these guys who can still compete with the elite. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not, anything like that. It's just my thought, just my opinion. Not that I don't rock with Nate Diaz. Not that I don't like Nate Diaz and all that. I just think Masvidal's gonna win. That's it. The undercard should be cool. I believe it was Daniel Jacobs and Shane Mosley Jr. I don't have an opinion on that. I don't know, what they've been up to, who they've been fighting. I didn't do my due diligence research on that. I know Fernando Vargas' son is going to fight. I think Ryan Garcia's brother. Chris Avila is going to fight Anthony Pettis. I'm sure there's more people that I'm not naming, I'm forgetting. If you guys want me to talk more about those fights and look into those fights and kind of scope out those fighters, drop a comment, drop me a DM, let me know, and I'll dive into it and see what I can talk about, bring up certain points, past fights, losses, wins, etc., anything like that. But I want to shift over to UFC. I want to shift over to some MMA because this weekend we got Robert Whittaker versus, I forgot the dude's first name, but last name Aliskerov. The highlights they're putting out about this guy is he is a menace. He is a problem. I don't know anything he's done. I haven't seen any highlights. The only one that they keep pointing out is his only losses to Chimaev, who you guys know by now it was supposed to be fighting Whittaker this Saturday. So, MMA math says that Robert Whittaker should win, but you never know with the young, unknown, hungry up-and-comer. They're eager and waiting to take any opportunity to cement themselves in this game. I think Whittaker should do it, though. I think Whittaker is still one of the greatest, one of the elite fighters right now. I believe, he has a potential to be a fight or two out from going at Izzy or Duplessis, whoever wins that fight. I believe it's going to be at 305, UFC 305. So, who knows? But I think Whittaker should get it done, probably via decision, just because if this guy's really untested, his chin might be holding up pretty good still, and so I'll go Whittaker by decision. On that same fight card, it should be Gastelum and Daniel Rodriguez. Calvin Gastelum, Daniel Rodriguez. If I remember correctly, both of them are going to be coming off of losses. I think Gastelum has a little more wear and tear on his body. He's been doing it a little bit longer. I feel he has more experience though, so he should get the job done against D-Rod. I think it's going to be a brawl. I think it has the potential to be fight of the night. I think it has the potential to be a real big back and forth of let's let these things fly, let's not back up, you know. I think this is going to be decided by the hands. I don't see this going to decision. I think somebody's going to get beat up and knocked out. If I heard correctly on one of these interviews, I think Calvin Gastelum said that he feels this is do or die for him. And I wish I remember which interview it was that I seen. That way I can give credit to where I heard it from. I believe Calvin Gastelum is feeling himself up against a rock and a hard place. And maybe he has that thought going on. If I don't win, I'm going to be cut. But I feel he's going to be a little bit more dangerous. I feel he's going to be a little bit more prepared. I feel he's going to come in better shape. And I feel he has a better chance of getting the job done. Not that D-Rod isn't a great fighter, that D-Rod isn't capable of stopping Gastelum, because 100% he is. 100% he has skills. I think Gastelum is going to get it done and try to maneuver himself back in the right path. And you know, like he said, go for the gold again. And then on the same card, I believe opening up that main card, it's going to be Johnny Walker versus Volkan Ozdemir. I for whatever reason, I've always been a fan of Johnny Walker. For whatever reason, I've always followed his fights. I like watching his fights. I think he's exciting. Win or lose, he's like to me, I guess you would call him a fan favorite. Ozdemir, I think, is ranked below him, so I think Walker should get it done. Same thing. I don't see it going to decision. I think Walker is gonna try to put him away, gonna put him down. I think Ozdemir. I could be wrong, but from what I'm remembering, Ozdemir will probably get his chin checked and go out. So I think Johnny Walker on that one should get the job done. Moving forward to June 29th, we got UFC 303, which everybody knows by now should have been Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler. For whatever reasons that are being stated, injuries or health or whatever, the fight got canceled. He can't help but feel bad for Chandler waiting so long, and now he has to wait even longer. If Conor comes back, I think he's been away too long to win this fight. I think ring rust is a serious thing. I think his timing's going to be off. I think he won't be used to how aggressive Michael Chandler's going to be from jump. I see Michael Chandler, to be honest, going in there and getting the job done. I want Chandler to win. Not that I have anything against Conor McGregor. He's given us so much over these years, and he's, a mega star. He is synonymous with the UFC. I just feel Michael Chandler's gonna get it done. I don't know if it's gonna be by knockout, by decision, whatever. I see. Even through his post, he says he's calm and to not feel bad for him and stuff like that. But I don't know. When I see these interviews, I feel like I see a dark side. Where on the surface, he's cool, he's calm, he's patient, he's waiting, he has other things going on, he's humble. To me, I'm seeing through that. I just see this dark side where it's like, as soon as that cage closes and Conor McGregor's in front of me, it's fucking go time, and I'm going to take his head off as I leave the cage. I could be wrong. Conor could clip him. Conor can capitalize on him being eager, and surprisingly, Conor could have timing and no ring rust at all. But I just feel Conor lost the last couple, got injured. Whether what he's posting or not isn't accurate, but going out, drinking, drugs, whatever, partying, clubbing, that's not a fighter's lifestyle. At least I don't believe so or think so. I think Michael Chandler's doing all the right things and staying active, staying busy, staying in shape, staying dedicated. I just feel this. The more this goes, the more in favor it's going to go to Michael Chandler. I think everybody just still, loves the aura of Conor McGregor and remembers everything he's done, and it leans towards him. But I think Michael Chandler should be able to get the job done. With that being said, the new headline for the 303 was Pereira versus Prochazka, Yuri Prochazka, I believe. That's the rematch. I don't remember the first one. I remember that Pereira won, obviously. I just want to say I think he's gonna do it again. I think Pereira is becoming the new face of UFC slowly but surely with every fight. I think he knows his window and he's capitalizing on it. He's accepting these fights. He's willing to do whatever, go wherever. He's getting the job done. I don't see him losing this fight. His next fight, I don't know who it should be against, but I thought for a minute there it was really interesting when he said he wanted to go up to fight John Jones. To me, that just I got excited just for the history it would bring. The first 3-time world champion. I think Pereira. At first, I was like, Pereira's slow. Pereira, he can throw that left hook, but it just didn't look fast. I don't know what it was. He just never looked fast. But just seeing him doing what he's doing now, I will never deny him. I will always give him that chance. I think he is already a certified Hall of Famer in the UFC, coming from his background to what he's done since he's been in the UFC. I think he's already hit legendary status. I want him to keep winning. I want his legacy to keep growing. So whoever he does fight next, I'm sure it'll be something exciting. Like I said, I thought it would be sick to see him fight John Jones for that belt. But, John Jones got his own thing going on with Stipe and then Aspinall and whatever direction he wants to go. On the same card, you got Brian Ortega and Diego Lopez. Love Brian Ortega. Love his fights. Always exciting. Never a dull moment. The only apprehension I have speaking about his fights is or even calling them exciting, is the fact that he seems to always take punishment. And when they always talk about a UFC fighter's career or a boxer's career, they always say you take all this punishment, you lose years of your career. I don't want to see Ortega take punishment. I like watching his fights. I get excited to watch his fights. So I just hope he can get the job done. I'm not too big on Diego Lopez. It seems like the UFC is. It seems like the UFC is really trying to push Diego Lopez. So there has to be something there. No disrespect to him or anything like that. But I do like T-City. I just hope T-City gets it done. I want him to get it done. Just without taking so much damage, without his face being all welted and swelled up, Hopefully he pulls a slick one, hits him with the triangle, and calls it a night early, And then on the same card, you got Anthony Smith, Carlos Ulberg. I believe originally that was supposed to be Jamal Hill and who was it? Jamal Hill and somebody, and then Ulberg came in, and then Hill went out, and then Smith now went. Like it changed hand like 3 times. I like Anthony Smith. I hope he gets his victory. I hope he keeps moving on, and I know he gets a lot of shit online. I've seen different podcasts where he's always kind of like defending himself about all the hate he gets. I like the guy. I think he's great at his commentating job. I thought it was dope. He accepted the $50,000 offer against Pereira to try to choke him out or whatever it was. So I hope Anthony Smith pulls through on that one. And then you got Ian Machado, Gary, Michael Venom Page. That one I'm really up in the air about, just because I think Venom Page looks so good. I think he looked very very swift with his movements, very calculated. When he fought Kevin Holland, I didn't feel like he was in trouble at all. I feel like he dictated the pace the whole time. I feel like he had a game plan, stuck to it, and somebody who's like that, who's able to maintain, who's able to stay really composed, I have a hard time seeing them lose. I don't have anything bad to say against Ian Machado Gary. I don't think he's a bad fighter. I think he's a great fighter. I think he's on his way up as well. He's one of the next ones that's going to help push the UFC to the next level as well. I like I said, I think Venom Page should get the win, probably by points, outstriking him maybe or pointing him. But who knows? You know, maybe Gary has the answer. Maybe Gary is going to outpoint him or take him down or just do something that, you know, that we weren't expecting. But if I had to bet, I would side with Venom Page. I want to say Page is the underdog. But like I said, I don't know. I don't know. That one's kind of hard to go. Maybe I'm just biased. I like Page a little bit more than Gary. Not that I don't like Gary at all, because I do. But maybe I'm just biased, so I'm just going with Page. But yeah, I think Page will take that. And then fast forwarding all the way to July 27th, we got UFC 304. That's Leon Edwards, Bilal Muhammad. That one, when I remember watching their first fight, I don't remember which UFC it was at, or, you know, the year, the date. But from what I remember, Leon Edwards was kind of just cruising through that fight, winning. From what I remember, I don't feel like Muhammad gave him any problems, anything to worry about. And it looks like Edwards just gets better and better every fight. So I have a hard time thinking that from the first fight to this fight, it's going to be anything different other than Edwards turning up a level. I think Edwards is going to pull through. I think Edwards is going to I don't think he'll stop him, but I don't think Edwards is going to lose. I have a hard time seeing that, which sucks because I really like Muhammad. I was really rallying for Muhammad to get this fight, because I know a couple of times it seemed like the UFC ducked him and didn't want to give it to him and made him wait. But I like that this fight is happening. I'm most definitely going to be tuning in. I think Edwards is a level up, you know. Obviously, champ for a reason, you know. On the card, you got Aspinall and Curtis Blades. Everybody knows Tom Aspinall is supposed to be fighting John Jones next. Aspinall is the, what do they call that? I forgot what they call it when they give him like a belt because the champ is inactive. Whatever that is, he's that champ. I give it to Aspinall over Blades. I remember his knee got blown out or something like that the first fight, but I think Aspinall is just a real problem. I think Aspinall is the future of the heavyweight division. I think Aspinall is going to clear out all of these guys once John Jones leaves. I would love to see John Jones against Aspinall if they both come back and they both get victories. But I don't think John Jones needs that fight. He could do it to kind of probably like stop the hype train and be like, oh, you guys thought he was the next one. He was gonna stop, you know, the GOAT. I don't think so. You know, he could probably put a stamp like that. I would love to see that fight though. I think John Jones is a beast. You know, greatest of all time, obviously. But yeah, we just gotta wait and see what happens with Aspinall and Blades, because if Aspinall does lose and then Blades comes in, who knows if they want to push Blades against the winner of Miocic and Jones. They might want to go a different direction with Blades, and you never know. You never know how it goes. It seems like something's always happening, changing. Somebody's always dropping out, getting injured. But we'll stay tuned and see what happens there. On the same card, we also got Bobby Green and Patty the Batty. That one I think is going to be a fun, exciting fight. I think it's going to be harder for both guys and what both guys are thinking and expecting. I'm excited to see it. I can't wait to see it. I don't have a prediction on that one. Maybe as the fight draws closer, I'll think about it more, look at some of the wins that they have, check out the last maybe 2-3 fights and come up with an opinion then. I just know I'm excited to see it because I know the hype train on Patty, and I know how beloved Bobby Green is and what he's doing. It's like a second coming of Bobby Green right now. So I'm excited to see that one. I think that one's going down in Manchester. I think that's the Manchester card. But yeah, these are all the fights that I have so far that I wanted to talk about. There's more obviously coming in August and September and as a year ends, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself in case somebody drops out or gets injured or something like that. I just wanted to come and talk these fights and things that the certain fights that I wanted to talk about, and just give my thoughts on, just to kind of get the ball rolling on this Combat Chit Chat episode. Like I said, if there's any fights or fighters that you want to talk about, if you want to be a guest on here, if you want to zoom in and talk to me about it, we can definitely make this happen. Shoot me a message, DM me in person, over the phone, whatever it is. I love talking fights. I love talking combat sports. So that's why I'm trying to do this new segment, Combat Chit Chat. But yeah, if you think I'm right, you think I'm wrong, agree, disagree, whatever it is, let's talk about it. Let's chop it up. I'm here for all combat talk. With that being said, I'm your boy, Mark the motherfucking Franchise. I'm your homeboy, Dad Bod the Rapper. You know what I'm saying? This has been my first episode, and the way I'm feeling is not going to be the last of Combat Chit Chat. I will see you on the next one. Please like, please subscribe, please tune in, please share, please hit the notifications, everything that you should already be doing. Do it for your boy one time. I really appreciate it. This is Mark the Franchise, and this is Combat Chit Chat. I'm out.